So, old Stannis, what is your opinion on the 40 caliber?
It's a good one. It has, maybe because I'm new, it has a strong recoil, so it's kind of, you have to kind of hold it firmly and have balance. If not, it's going to push you back.
Oh
But other
yeah,
than that, I think it's good. You know,
yeah.
it's a good one, and it shoots really well.
Okay. Now, typically with the older Smith and Wessons, that was made in around the 90s, right? Around well before Clinton took office. Because I do have some magazines that exist when he was in office. They're 10-round magazines.
Oh,
Because there was a assault weapons ban, so you couldn't have a magazine capacity greater than 10 rounds.
all right.
And so what Smith and Wesson did, they have a crimp right after number 10, so you can only load 10 rounds.
Oh, so
This particular one is a pre-Clinton, I call it a pre-Clinton era, or a pre-assault weapon ban. It's got 11 rounds in it. But, I mean, it shoots good for a 30-plus-year-old gun. And probably one of the downsides is, it's a bigger gun physically.
yeah, it looks big, but it has a strong recoil because
Attention rifle
I don't know
shooters,
what the other
please do
one's
not
meant
post
to
a
be,
target over the numbers
but it looks
downrange.
smaller. But I think
Shooters,
it has a.
you are now clear
the
to
recoil is
post,
not that much.
check,
Yeah.
or retrieve
Why-
your
why would
targets.
a bigger gun
Once you are
be
through
bigger?
going downrange, please wait
Well,
behind the
well,
yellow
typically,
line. If
we
you are
go
not
and put
going
the targets up
downrange,
too.
please wait
But,
behind the
typically-
yellow line. And once again, please do not handle your firearms for any reason during the ceasefire. Not even to leave.
Let me, is there a staple gun somewhere?
I think they might have.
Excuse me, you have a staple gun to... Oh, maybe I can borrow one of theirs. I can borrow one of theirs probably. Oh. Oh, okay. I'll borrow it from one of them.
Can we?
All right, thanks though. Yeah, thanks.
Mind if I borrow this? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll hold this one up here. Oh, that's good.
I'll hold.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can move your hand there. I don't want to staple you to the thing there. Okay.
Is that enough?
Oh yeah, the bottom.
There you go.
But yeah, to answer your question about the weight and stuff, other than being a bigger gun, it's a heavier gun because it's got a steel frame, and so even though
Thank you.
the weight of the gun is kind of a factor against it because people don't want to carry a heavy gun when they conceal carry
Oh,
because it's 2.5, 3 pounds or whatever. But then on the flip side, the weight helps to offset some of the recoil. So it's kind of a plus and a minus with the weight of it. That's why towards the 2000s, the polymer guns started becoming popular, like the Smith & Wesson SDVE. Well, they call it a Sigma back then. In like 2000, they had the Smith & Wesson Sigma, which is basically like a American version of a Glock.
oh,
But Glock was one of the first manufacturers to come out with that plastic filling gun. Now it still has a steel slide in it because there's a lot of pressure once the striker or the hammer hits the bullet. It's a lot of pressure. You need steel to keep it together. But the rest of the gun is pretty much something that you hold on to. It holds bullets in it. It's a trigger, so it's a lot of like moving mechanism parts and stuff. So basically you can get away with plastic for everything below the slide.
oh, wow.
But if you ever get a Glock and people put switches on them nowadays to make them automatic, now if they keep running those things just repeatedly nonstop, eventually it will melt that plastic because that steel gets hot. So, and it can damage the blow, the parts below the gun as well. So,
Well, I have some, like, I can't wait to try all these guns out. The
yeah,
last one was a wonderful experience, and that's why I'm back.
oh yeah,
So I cannot wait. And guys, if you have any experience with your gun, good or bad, share with us. Share with One Man Ammunition, so he can either educate you or learn from you. You know.
yeah, oh yeah.
So we're here to have fun. And if you have guns and you're a gun lover like One Man Ammunition, share your experiences with him.
Oh,
So we're gonna do this again.
now I didn't properly introduce the guns. I just kind of started filming with you shooting
No,
or right
we
before.
can still do that later.
But basically, I'm kind of telling you, you just shot the tactical Smith & Wesson 4043
Okay, that's the one I
TSW model.
just shot. That's the one I just shot now.
Yeah, that's the one there. We also have a couple of SW 1911 Smith & Wessons. 1911 is a platform that was made in the year 1911. So over 110 years later. Well, 21 is 10, about 113 years roughly. Well, 112 years, however you do the math. It's still a platform that's real popular. It's not something that they came out with and it was really expensive way back when, and then it just dropped in price. I mean, the 1911 right now, the cheapest one is I had one for $639. That's the cheapest. The most expensive one I have is $1,500.
Wow.
But it's still a pretty expensive item. It kind of depends on what you get in it. You can get them engraved. That can run the bill up hundreds of dollars. Where they do that laser engrave on it. You can put special messages. You can get them gold plated. That runs it up thousands of dollars. Or you can just go and get like a Rock Island Armor, which is a cheaper one. Or you can get a used, Smith & Wesson. I seen that they're bad. But, if you want to cut costs on them too.
Attention shooters. As a safety reminder, eye and ear protection is mandatory on the firing line. Anytime you transport an uncased firearm around the property, please do so muzzle up and action open until you reach the shooting benches. Please case and uncase all firearms on top of the shooting benches with the muzzles pointing downrange only. Never behind the yellow line and not in the parking lot. Please keep your empty firearm cases with you next to your shooting benches. Please remember there is absolutely no rapid fire on our firing line. Now, with your eye and ear protection in place, the line is hot. The line is hot. You can now fire when ready.
And the other gun that we have is a Smith & Wesson 500 Performance Center model, which is this particular one here. This is one of the Smith & Wesson. This is the full-size 5-inch barrel 1911. This one is the 3-inch compact 1911. And this is the infamous 4043 that we just shot. We'll kind of finish this one up. We'll finish this one up, and then we'll move on to the 45 calibers. I think I loaded some magazine. I'll finish loading it up as well. And to get the full experience, we'll put one in the chamber. So our stainless will have 12 minutes to do a mag dump.
You want it to go get
Okay.
I didn't
So
do
you took the last 3 rounds.
that.
Okay. You did really well, though. That's one thing I forgot to mention on these older Smith & Wessons. A lot of law enforcement jurisdictions adopted it, and they like this magazine release. Because like right now, you get a magazine in it. Well, you can shoot it right now. When you drop the magazine out of it, it won't fire. So it's like that because if a suspect grabs the firearm, they can't use it against them if they can pull it and drop the magazine. But with the magazine in, I don't do anything fancy. That's what a lot of the Smith & Wessons did. They want a lot of jurisdictions. However, a lot of people don't like it. To me, it's okay with me. I'm neutral with it, and it's probably best to have. That's pretty much it with that one. Now, the 1911, they don't have magazine disconnect. They will fire with and without a magazine. I'll demonstrate it. For you too.
Without it?
Oh yeah, we're done with the 40 cal because we cut all the rounds out of it. We'll have to use for my home defense for the 1911.
Okay.
So, because I don't have 1911 rounds. So we won't take quite as many shots with it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate with and without a magazine.
So how many rounds does it hold?
So I'm going to just put 3 in here, but this particular one holds 8.
Okay.
And then you can put 1 in the chamber, so a total of 8 plus 1 or 9, however you want to look at it. Now with the 1911, to really carry it effectively, here, nothing in the chamber. You want to conceal carry a 1911 to have it ready when you need it. You put the magazine in, you rock it, you put the safety on, and that's how you're supposed to conceal carry it, locked and cocked.
So when you move this up, it's secured?
Yeah, that's the safety. It won't shoot. That's the safety. You just have to trust in it, really. A 1911 is a single action firearm. Now, when I drop the safety and I shoot it here, now remember I told you about the magazine disconnect? We're going to take the magazine out. Now this one you have to be real careful because it still shoots without a magazine. No tricks. It's the camera on the gun. It's no tricks.
Well,
That's how it's made.
but how is it shooting without no?
It's a single action. Number one, it doesn't have magazine safety. Magazine disconnect safety feature on it. So it's kind of like you get what you get. Once you put 1 in the chamber, you have to really be careful.